My sister and my boyfriend never got along. She didn't believe that the charming and flirtatious heir would ever settle down for me. Even after my boyfriend proposed, she still tried to stop us from being together. To convince her, I registered a new account to test my boyfriend. Evan's attitude was as cold as ice, always ignoring my messages. Just as I was secretly feeling pleased, I received a voice message from Evan. He said, "I've told you, except for you and your sister, I'm not interested in other women. Grace, you're so unsatisfied. Who will fulfill your needs if I get married?" Grace was my sister's name. Hearing these voice messages, I felt like my entire body had frozen in an instant. In a panic, I pinched my thigh to confirm if this was just a nightmare. Amid the intense pounding of my heart, the harsh reality hit me. Evan and my sister were involved. And I was just a substitute for my sister. But, how could this be? Hadn't they always disliked each other? My sister always said that Evan, apart from his prestigious family background, was just an utterly useless playboy. Evan, on the other hand, thought my sister was a meddling busybody. Every time we argued, she would try to convince me to break up. My phone suddenly rang with a call, pulling me out of my thoughts. I blankly rejected the call. "Evan, why didn't you pick up the phone? You're not crying, are you? Come to the Nightshade Villa. I'll satisfy you properly tonight. Don't worry. Marriage is just a formality. Everything Mia has, you won't miss out on. That includes me." I stared blankly at the screen, a buzzing sound in my ears, feeling as if my body had frozen. Tears uncontrollably streamed down my face. Through my blurry vision, I couldn't help but recall the first time I took my sister to that villa. Without me guiding her, she easily found the bathroom and the facial cleanser in the storage cabinet. When I checked her phone, I found that she had already connected to the Wi-Fi. She said she had accidentally entered my social account password. Evan's corgi was incredibly affectionate towards her. She said it might be because it picked up my scent. But the dog totally ignored me, even when I offered a frisbee or a bone. Yet, it wagged its tail happily at my sister, whom it had just met. And at my sister's house, there were limited edition bags, high couture dresses, and jewelry, just like mine. Some of them were things Evan had asked me to pass on under the guise of trying to please my sister. The rest, my sister said, were gifts from her suitors. I eagerly asked her about them, but she stammered and dodged the question. I thought she was shy, but it turned out she was hiding something. I also remembered when we went shopping and they bickered for my attention in front of me. Several times, the tense atmosphere was suddenly broken by laughter. I naively thought they were making up, happy that their relationship was improving. This pair of sham-less lovers had been treating me as just a part of their game, playing me for a fool. I cried until my eyes were swollen and my head dizzy. Grabbing the car keys, I sped towards the Nightshade Villa. Nightshade Villa was Evan's private club, and now it was hosting the groomsmen's gathering. Evan was there. To my surprise, my sister was there, too. I stood outside the wall, watching them at the outdoor bar. Evan seemed to be drunk, his handsome face flushed red. He drunkenly held my sister's neck, whispering in her ear. My sister frowned in disdain but mischievously pulled his tie. The surrounding men teased them with suggestive jeering. Evan, however, playfully swept his bangs back and purposely leaned back, flashing a mischievous grin, having succeeded in his prank. My sister gasped and collapsed onto his lap. Evan wrapped his arms around her slender waist, kissing her lips under the dim lights of the outdoor bar. The crowd erupted into cheers and whistles. Some people opened champagne to celebrate, while others raised their phones to take pictures. Others laughed and teased, "Evan, you're marrying Mia the day after tomorrow. Is it really appropriate to get intimate with her sister today? Haha, don't tell anyone. Even if Evan takes care of Grace here tonight, Mia won't find out. This is the Evan I know. Before, you were so obedient to Mia, always acting so devoted and faithful. Turns out it was all just an act? I really thought you'd changed." Evan finally ended the passionate kiss. He was drunk, exuding a touch of arrogance. He said, "The one I've always loved is Grace, from the beginning to the end. But who's to blame when Grace, this flirtatious woman, refuses to settle down for me?" Evan let out a light laugh, then kissed my sister on the cheek. "Guess I'll have to settle for second best and be with her little sister. Mia might not be as wild as Grace in bed, but as far as body and looks go, she's not bad at all, tisk." Evan helped my sister stand up and leaned her against the bar to rest. Someone handed him a coat, and he draped it over her shoulders. Someone asked, "Evan, are you going home tonight?" My sister looked up at him, her eyes dazed. Evan bent down, affectionately pinching her cheek. Mia cares about her sister the most. I'm always second. Now that her sister is so upset, I naturally have to comfort her first. He waved his hand behind him. "John, send Mia a message saying I'm drunk and won't be coming back tonight. I'll pick her up for rehearsal tomorrow." As tears blurred my vision, my phone vibrated. John had sent a message. "John, Ms. Jones, Mr. Taylor is drunk and won't be coming back tonight. Please rest early. He'll come to pick you up for rehearsal tomorrow." I stood there for a long time, my mind a whirlwind of thoughts. Since we were little, my sister and I had always depended on each other. After our parents passed away, we were fostered by our uncle. My cousin constantly bullied me, and my aunt turned a blind eye. I was too scared to fight back, but my sister stood up for me. I didn't dare to strike, but she was the one to teach them a lesson. In terms of academics, I was smarter than my sister. She didn't like studying much, so in her senior year of high school, I stayed up every night to help her review, breaking down the material and explaining it to her. I painted a picture of a bright future for her, and we both ended up getting into university in this city. When we graduated, I found out my boyfriend was cheating. Without saying a word, my sister rushed to the hotel and beat up the cheating couple. Later, we shared a bedroom in a rented apartment, both uncertain about the future. Every night, we squeezed into one bed, promising each other that we'd take care of one another once we became successful. We can't forget our roots. I'll leave you the biggest room when I make it. Since childhood, I've always considered her the most important person in my life. Maybe love for family always has its conditions, but I believed she would love me forever.